Let's do a stop practice. Stop whatever you are doing right now. Take a few breaths. Observe your experience in this moment. Then proceed mindfully into your next moments.
Welcome to Sacred Space. I'm Krizel.
And I'm Nex.
Today's episode, we will be talking about physical health, what it means, and when do you know when you're physically healthy?
Yes, exactly. So, paano mo nga ba malalaman, Krizel, kung ikaw ay physically healthy? At ano ba ibig sabihin ng physical health?
Alam mo, Nex, if there's anything na bring ng pandemic na to, it's, people are becoming more aware of their physical health. In fact, ang daming parang YouTube videos, parang do-it-yourself guide on yoga, HIIT. You can do it at your home already. So, marami na resources for that. And it's a good thing na slowly ngayon i-incorporate na ng mga tao, especially the ones that are busy last year siguro, yung physical health, and they're actually taking care of themselves better.
Yes. Alam mo sa akin, ang pinaka-basihan ko when I'm actually physically healthy is really my body. Recognizing that we live on Earth at tayo ay nandito sa katawan na to. And for me, this is like my vehicle for whatever I want to do in this life. Hindi ko ma-achieve yung gusto kong ma-achieve kung yung katawan ko ay hindi healthy. But then, at the same time, parang hindi lang rin siya recognizing the body, but it's actually listening to the body.
That's a good point that you raised, no? Kasi as I was mentioning yung exercise, 'di ba? It's a physical activity, but more often than not, we tend to overdo it. And hindi ako aloof sa mga tao na nag-physically healthy whatever during the pandemic. Ginawa ko 'yon, pero I think I did not listen to my body much kasi I burned out. I burned out from myself, and I'm not sure what. So right now, I'm finding my way kung ano yung physical activity that suits my lifestyle better. And I think that's more important. When you start to listen to your body, you know asan yung limit mo, and when do you need to go further. So there.
Yeah, alam mo, actually, ako, isa rin yan sa bagay na parang I've discovered over the years. Dahil ako ay isang athletic yung build ko talaga. Parang it is wanting or needing physical activity, parang ganyan. But then, meron kasing aspect rin, or meron ako actually cycles, parang like, in a year, nararamdaman ko yung kailan yung pinupush ko yung sarili ko. And yung push to the point na parang competitive yung pagtingin mo, na kailangan yung body mo is better than the other people's bodies, and mga ganun. Nararamdaman ko, alam ko yung nangyayari dun sa katawan. Alam ko pag, okay, kailangan ko nang matulog, or nasobrahan na ako, or kung nasobrahan ako ng tulog, paano ako babawi, yung mga ganong bagay. And then ano yung kinukonsume ko. And at the end of the day, it's about ano ba yung katawan ko na ako talaga. Hindi yung katawan ko na sabi ng society ganito dapat, sabi ng family mo ganito dapat, sabi ng culture ganito dapat.
Alam mo, kilala mo ba si Dora Crybaby?
Hindi ba siya? Sino siya?
Medyo isikat siya na internet sensation ngayon. And one of his Twitter posts was talking about...
His? Her?
Yeah. He prefers to be part of the rainbow.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Okay. Got it.
So, one of his Twitter posts kasi was talking about, how fat people are associated with unhealthy and thin people associated with healthy. And that's still the conception right now. But you know what? It's, breaking that stigma na just because you got bigger doesn't mean you're unhealthy. And same goes, just because you're thin doesn't mean you are healthy. So it all boils down to what's the right frame for your body, because no one size fits all. Diba? We all have to consider those kinds of factors. So he raised that kind of issue na parang, oh, I'm perfectly healthy. I don't have sakit. I don't have high blood, hypertension, whatever. But I got bigger.
Yeah.
And he's perfectly happy. I think, above all, physical health for me, my takeaway would be also a state of mind. Na as long as you're happy with your size, you're content, and you don't compare yourself to other people anymore, then basically that's when you can say you are healthy.
Yeah, sa akin rin, it's about the body itself is an expression of who you are. So parang we cannot really compare, parang mong sinabi na yung katawan ko ay dapat maging katulad ng ibang tao, na parang mo nang sinabing ako ay dapat katulad ng ibang tao. Para even nga yung twins are totally different people di ba? In the end. Parang, of course, genetically, there will be a lot of similarities. Pero, in terms of who they are as people, ang daming pagkakaiba nun. So, we have to actually start recognizing that, no? Sino ba ako? Ano ba tong katawan ko? Ano bang kaya ng katawan ko? Hindi niya kaya? Ano ba yung gusto ng katawan ko? Ano ba yung hindi gusto ng katawan ko? Talagang, we have to start looking at the body as our temple and as our vehicle for living this life. Nakakalimutan kasi natin yan parang we invest in so many things externally, but we forget to invest on our physical health, on ourselves. And in the end, pag yung physical health mo yung nag-fail, ano pang mangyayari dun sa buhay mo? The rest of your life is like, wala na tayong usapan, tapos na.
Right. Yun nga, yung na-mention mo na you treat your body as a temple. It also comes from the roots of how you respect yourself, I guess, no? Admittedly, some of us gained weight.
Yes,
but,
during the pandemic, especially.
Walang naging naging safe. So some of us gained weight, some of us also found a very perfect lifestyle, a routine, an exercise routine, which is very good for everyone. Kasi nga, it's one of the things that can combat yung virus natin ngayon, to be physically healthy. My question would be next.
Sige.
When a person is physically healthy, does that mean they're also mentally healthy? Are they even correlated?
Yeah, that's a really good question, no? Kasi ako, and I think more or less tayo, no? We're kind of proponents of holistic health. Kasi we don't just look at mental health, we don't just, and in fact, this is what we're doing dito sa podcast, and even sa mga gawain natin, no, with Conscious Heart Creations, sa mga collaborations natin, we really talk about holistic health in the sense that ang laki-laki nung circle or nung component of what it means to actually be healthy. You will have medical perspective, you will have a spiritual perspective, you will have a societal perspective, and then meron ka pang individual, no? So malawak siya, marami ka talagang titingnan. So when you talk about physical health and separate it from everything else, medyo makikita mo somewhere along the way, magmamanifest pa rin siya physically. Meaning, if you're actually, you have a mental illness or mentally unwell ka, makikita mo yun sa body. Kasi yung body pa rin naman, yung talagang literal na nakikita natin kung anong nangyayari, di ba? So, although hindi na natin nakikita yung thoughts, hindi natin nakikita yung pero nakikita mo, hindi na lumalabas ng bahay. Tulog na ng tulog, or yung napag-usapan natin dun sa previous episodes, right? And yung may mga dilemma, 'di ba? Sa sarili nila. And then magma-manifest. So actually yung isang perspective, this one is sasabihin na natin. So ang isang perspective that I also kind of have been researching or have been in on is yung Steiner's perspective, na ang pagtingin niya. So si Rudolf Steiner, isa siyang philosopher, German philosopher. And siya yung isa sa mga siya yung proponent ng Waldorf education, ng biodynamic agriculture, and many other things. So ang tingin talaga dun sa tao ay meron siyang iba-ibang different kinds of bodies. So meron siyang yung etheric body, meron siyang physical body, what we have now, meron siyang tinatawag na astral body, ito yung realm ng thoughts and emotions.
Okay.
And then meron siyang the ego, o the I, the individual. Yung alam mong ako, versus yung aso, hindi niya masasabing ako ay ako.
Oo.
Diba? Yung tao lang yung makakapagsabi nun. So meron tayong 4 na aspeto na yun. And kung may mga challenges tayo dun sa ibang aspeto na yun, magmamanifest siya eventually sa physical body.
Okay.
Pero imagine yung proseso na dadaanan niya bago siya mag-take ng form. So kung yung sakit mo, bago siya mag-take ng form, halimbawa ng cancer, may pinagdaanan yun.
I see. So what it means when you hurt your ethereal body?
Yun. So magmamanifest siya. It depends I cannot answer you specifically. It depends kung ano yung nangyari sa'yo. Pero yung etheric kasi siya yung may kinalaman sa time, sa mahaba na usapin. Baka ibang topic na yun, pag-uusapan natin siya next time. No? But for now, ang sinasabi lang natin, if you take away yung holistic perspective, at nakafocus ka lang sa physical, eto ka-exercise ka ng exercise. And we know this. Marami ng mga celebrities yung alam mong sobrang healthy nila physically, but then suddenly they're gone.
Yeah.
Right? Parang because it tells us something
And this is an overall parang topic din naman ng well-being in itself. So well-being means you're healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and also environmentally.
Yes.
That's part of it.
That's a big part of it. When we talk about physical health, we cannot remove the fact that this body is here on this earth.
Correct.
And this earth is the one that actually sustains us
Correct.
And in fact, dapat may iba pa tayong topic.
May ibang topic yan kasi the way we respect our body, we should also be respecting the environment in such a way. So ibang topic din yan.
Exactly. And makikita mo na yung mirroring Yung sakit ng tao, makikita mo siya mirrored sa sakit ng mundo.
But you know what? When you talk about physical health, hindi talaga naiiwasan na natatap natin yung mga toxic cultures that we have at the moment. Yung comparison pa lang, na parang anong nangyari sa'yo, na parang as if you've gone through a tragedy.
Yes.
They're looking at the physicality of the physical health.
Oo nga. Yung parang, kasi nga, meron naman talaga tayong unfortunately, yung judgmental na view talaga, ito lang yung titingnan niya. Diba? Hindi niya talaga nakikita yung beyond what the eye can see lang.
Right. So maybe the thing to do would also be to not shift but also open perspectives na yung physical health is not only seen like physically na may six-pack ka or may super thin legs or meron kang hip bones, collarbones, and whatnot na nakikita nyo physically or what the society dictates as a physically healthy person. But it also has to do something with how you see your own body.
Yes, exactly. Again, so when we talk about wellness and well-being in terms of physical health, kailangan tingnan natin yung sarili natin, kailangan tingnan natin ano yung ginagawa natin sa katawan natin, and at the same time, kailangan natin tingnan saan tayo nagkakaroon ng block para mas maging healthy tayo. At yung health na yon ay makita sa physical. Parang shift natin pabaliktad versus yung physical lang yung titingnan mo yung ibang bagay, hindi tingnan mo rin yung physical, and then tingnan mo siya ng buo.
After all, what we have right now is a manifestation of how we feel on the inside. And later on, with our guest, we will be talking more about the physical health and the topic and what other aspects there is.
Yes, so yung guest natin that we're gonna be having after this break is someone who is a professional in this field. No?
Yeah, and who practices a physical activity actually.
Yes, and also, hopefully, meron rin siyang ma-share sa atin ng additional perspectives in terms of how he does it.
All right, so we'll see you right back after the break. To get updated in our latest episodes, you may follow The Sacred Space by Conscious Heart Creations in Spotify, Google Podcast, and other podcast channels.
Follow Conscious Heart Creations in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We also invite you to be part of our Healing and Empowerment Community Facebook group and send us an email if you want to join our Emergent Theater PH activities.
You can find all the links to our social media accounts and email address on the description box.
Welcome back to Sacred
Space. And today's episode, we have a very special guest. His name is Venj, and he will be telling more of his story and introducing himself to our listeners and viewers. So, welcome, Venj.
Hello, nice to be here.
Can you share a little bit about yourself? What do you do?
I'm basically a screenwriter. I write for television, but at the same time, I teach yoga and meditation. So for me, it makes sense. I mean, looking at it from the outside, I'm not sure if it really makes sense writing, being in a competitive environment, and at the same time, having a deep contemplative practice. I'm not sure it makes sense, but it's okay for me.
Great. So our topic for today is actually physical health. And earlier we kind of discussed our thoughts about it. And from your perspective as a yoga practitioner and your background as well, we'd like to know more about what is physical health for you and when can we say that we are physically healthy.
Basically, you are physically healthy when you don't have a disease, right? But in yoga, health is not just about the absence of disease, but the absence of dis-ease. Like being in a state of ease, experiencing life with ease. So it's not limited to physical health. Like there is an understanding that everything about you is interconnected. Even though you can run a marathon, but if you can't handle a simple conversation with another person, or you can't collaborate with your coworkers, it doesn't really make you healthy. The emphasis is not on physical health only, exclusively on physical health, but rather about going through this life with ease, less dis-ease.
And how would you say na you are actually naman physically healthy? Maybe specifically for you, para sa sarili.
I usually check my energy level when I'm at my peak. Like I can focus well. I can do things easily. It's easy for me to think about things. It's easy for me to write. It's easy for me to move. That's usually how I refer to health for myself.
How has been your journey, like being a yoga practitioner? How did you arrive from, being before you became a yoga instructor, yoga practitioner?
Siguro in relation to that question of Krizel is parang what made you actually go into it?
I've always been into yung mga gym stuff, yung mga physical activities. Running, biking, swimming, gano'n. Joining yoga classes, parang siya, it's a natural part of that. So parang joining yoga classes, and then when I started joining yoga classes more often, I discovered na it's not just about the body. Parang you tend to cultivate this deeper understanding na, parang there's something happening here. You're feeling a shift na hindi lang sa katawan. Parang something is opening up. Parang gano'n. So, and then I started to read more, research about it, ganyan. And then to learn more, I attended a teacher training, yung mga ganyan. So, read more books about yoga philosophy. And then you discover na, okay, so there's so much here na wala dun sa mga usual na yoga classes. But it actually can serve its purpose. It can actually become a door that you can enter para to discover what it can give you.
It's actually very interesting, Venj, yung sinasabi mo. Kasi yung pinag-usapan namin ni Krizel kanina was coming from a certain perspective and getting into the physical. And from you, what you're saying is you were in the physical. And talagang activities na very physical. And then while you were on that parang curious path, na biglang napunta ka dun sa, ay hindi lang pala siya physical. Parang it opened other things for you. And would you be able to share what were the other things that you kind of discovered?
Basically, how yoga can can help you be happy, parang can help you align yourself with your purpose of what you want to do, what is truly important for you, your values, yung mga ganyan.
And you felt prior to that, hindi wala ka doon? Or hindi mo?
Yeah, oo. Yeah, yun yung malaking shift. You're going through life, like before, without yoga practices, going through life, yung mga, ano lang, parang searching for the next thing. Okay. So, at this stage of life, dapat may ganito ka na. At this stage of life, this is what the society is telling you. So, para siyang just trying to keep up lang with whatever is you think or society think is good or impressive or successful, ganyan.
Right. So, kasi kanina we were talking about it, no? So, during this pandemic, ang daming na-open na bagong mga physical activities and even online resources can be seen. You can do your own home videos for exercises, and siguro may mga HIIT trainings, yung mga, pilates, and yoga, such as what you are doing, no? So, we would also want to know, and for the sake of our viewers and listeners, kung what would be your advice for those na starting for themselves na maging physically healthy for year 2020, 2021?
If you're trying to be healthy, basically, this has been known naman to most people, like even in science, in research, na there are certain drivers of good health na I'm sure 90%, 99% of people already know. It's about diet, exercise, sleep, stress level, and social connection. So, it's just about looking at those things, kung what you should work on. Parang seeing them as buckets, and then, okay, what can I ano yung mga nangangailangan ng pagpuno para sa yung mga aspect na kailangan kong punuan. Parang ganon. So, before going into those trendy or fad na exercise, there's nothing wrong with it. Pero I think what should be clear for you is why are you doing it? Yung purpose of getting into it. Is it dahil I want to get abs para to attract a mate, ganon, or is this something na you really value because you value good health, because you wanted to reach a certain age wherein you can see your children, you can see your grandchildren, ganyan. So it just has to be clear to you kung why are you doing it. Yung purpose will give you unlimited resource of motivation para hindi lang siya New Year's resolution, hindi lang siya pang January.
Yeah. That's a really good advice or a way to actually get into any form of healthy practice, no? Venj, that you're actually saying beyond the physical is even just asking yourself first, why are you actually doing something? So at this point, we would like to thank you for being here, Venj. Dami naming napulot.
Yeah, yung perspectives pala na yun, no? You have to consider yung mga ganong klaseng, yung points na that you raised kanina.
Yeah, at saka I think even you sharing a little bit of your journey, na parang when we get into something, we don't just, parang kung baga sa stage or level 1, hindi lang level 1 ito, at marami to. Itong mga proseso na pwede tayo mapuntahan at matutunan, no? And things can be doorways, eh. Parang yun yung sinasabi mo. And this is what I'm really taking away from what you shared, no? Na the physical health became a doorway for you that brought you to a more holistic perspective of life in general. Parang ganun.
Yeah, and for the others naman, they can also use this as guide for those na hindi pa nila napagdedesisyonan yung routine nila na gusto nilang gawin. I know people are really gearing towards becoming healthier. it's part of the journey, but hindi naman pwedeng level 0 to 100 agad eh, di ba?
Yeah.
They have to take into consideration some factors also, which we really appreciate you sharing also.
Yeah. So at this point, baka if you'd like to invite people sa, like for example, to your yoga practice or kung ano man na gusto mong i-promote, you're free to do that in this last one.
Final advice na lang, parang if you're starting with anything or if you want to look into the different aspect nga of health, prioritize sleep. That's the easiest and the parang keystone element that can affect everything else. So if you focus on sleep first, it will align you with with the natural rhythm of nature. So that will automatically give you a certain ease in life. So with that ease, all other aspects parang mas makakaya mo na. You have the energy to tackle the other aspects.
Sleep, no?
Yun lang.
A
Thank
dormant
you.
activity, but it really helps a lot pala.
Yeah.
Ayun, that it can set your rhythm. Parang
Yeah.
ganun.
All right.
Alright.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, and we're glad to have you here. And we also wanted to say pala that Venj is also part of our emergent theater community. And our emergent theater community is really a free-flowing parang group that actually is just here to really support each other in terms of our own personal journeys. So thank you for being here, Venj.
Thank you, Nex. Thank you, Krizel.
After
Nice talking to you.
Nice to meet you
Yes.
also.